Morning guys, what's up? Hope everybody's having a good morning starting out today, and thanks for taking a couple minutes to check today's video out and getting ready to head down to Grand Lake for the final day of practice for the Toyota Series tournament down at Grand Lake. And looks like we've got some storms on the way, and I got a Bridgeford promotion, so it's going to be a short day on the water, but I'll give you guys tonight a final practice day wrap up, and be filming during the tournament, and hopefully you can learn something from it, maybe what to do or what not to do, depending upon how the week turns out for me. But hey, today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite Clearwater spring topwater baits, techniques, how to fish it, and that type of stuff. That is sort of like, it's not well known. They're sort of like, they have a regional following, but I think overall this is a category of topwater lures that don't get a lot of attention, and that is a wake bait. This is a Cordell redfin here, and this is a Megabass Anthrax. These are wake baits. I'm going to sort of show you guys when and where and everything I like to fish them. First of all, let's talk a little bit about wake baits versus other type of topwaters. In the springtime, and specifically in the springtime of the year, spring, it's a real iffy deal as far as the topwater bite goes, because you have a little bit of the topwater bite during the late pre-spawn and very early part of the spawn. What we're in right now, say for example like a buzz bait, once in a while a frog will work, something like that, that you really don't associate topwater fishing right around the spawn that much. Overall, the times that these wake baits work really good is in clear water situations, right before the fish spawn and then right after the fish spawn. So there's a window we're sort of in right now that these things work really good. And the things that you really want to look for them is it's got to be the right type of lake. These things don't work like everywhere. If you've got a body of water, the lake you're fishing has over, say, 3 to 4 foot of visibility, you've got a bite that could possibly happen on this. I prefer for this technique to have like 5+ feet of visibility. So you're talking about lakes like all the Ozarks lakes around here, Lake Lanier in Georgia, possibility of like, maybe Lake Norman, North Carolina, some of the eastern Tennessee lakes like Lake Douglas, that type of deal, and also on the northern smallmouth lake. These things are killer for smallmouth and clear water. And then maybe some of the western impoundments, Lake Mead, maybe some of the Clearwater, California impoundments. But this is a subtle topwater, yet it's a big fish bait. This bait, when I'm fishing a wake bait, I'm thinking quality bass. I'm not really looking to get a ton of bites, even though I have had good days on them, but I'm looking to get a lot of bites. So the two different ones we have here that I like I said, are the Megabass Anthrax and the redfin like this. This redfin here, I've actually modified it a little bit. I've taken the bill and relocated it and put it down. And what this does is it makes the bait just, wobble across the surface like that. The same with the Anthrax. You've got the bill down on there, bait's upside down. And on the Anthrax, when this thing goes away, when it turns, you can hear it's got the clacker in there. But anyway, this bait just sort of wobbles across the surface like that. And the key to any type of a wake bait is the wake that it makes. That's why it's called a wake bait, because when you're fishing this bait across the surface, the main commotion on it is the big V, the wake that it puts out behind it. And therefore, when you're fishing a wake bait, probably the most critical element to fish a wake bait in the springtime of the year is a calm day. You can have a very, very little slight chop, but the time that I have whacked them on this thing is when you have those days out there, regardless of if it's sunny or cloudy or whatever, the sky conditions don't make any difference. But the thing that does make a difference is the calm water. Because when you have calm water and clear water, and you have these baits clacking across the surface like that, you can't reel them fast, because if you reel them fast, they go underwater. So you have to reel them super slow to get them to stay on the surface like that. And it throws out this V behind the bait. And in clear water, if it's extremely clear, those fish will come from a mile away and blow this thing out of the water. It's just unbelievable. You can actually pull fish out of 15, 20, 25 foot of water with a wake bait on a calm day in clear water. And that's the time that I like to fish it. My favorite time to fish it, like I said, is right after the spawn. That can be anywhere between sometime in April and early May. all day long. It's not like an early morning deal. You think a lot of topwater is early morning, but a wake bait is not like that. It works all day long, but you do have to have that calm weather. Another critical element in this is your equipment. Like I said, the hardest thing you're going to find out in wake bait fishing is to get that bait where it doesn't want to dive under the water, because you want that bait, you want the back of the bait out of the water all the time, which is harder to do than what you think, because even though these baits float, they still have a tendency to want to dive with the bill. So what you need is a super long rod. I use the Megabass launcher, 7'11" rod, and I use 15-pound test mono. You don't want to use braid, you don't want to use fluorocarbon, that'll sink it. So I found that like 12 to 15-pound test mono with a long rod is the way to go, because what I do is I throw, and you need the 12 to 15-pound test because you don't want to use heavier, because you can't make a long of a cast. So I make the longest cast that I can out there with that thing, and I hold the rod tip high like this. I'll actually point the rod tip almost like at 11 or 12 o'clock, and I actually hold the reel like right at my face here. So I've got, the rod is actually, 12, 13 foot up in the air. Keep that rod tip super high, and then what happens is by having that rod tip super high, it forces that bait to stay on the surface. And that's the best way that I found out to fish it. So anyway, guys, I'll do a little bit more on this. I'll try to do some videos at a later point, but just go get you some, man. Just go, if you guys want to, go to Tackle Warehouse. If you guys would use that Fish the Moment Tackle Warehouse link, that'd be much appreciated. Help Johnny and I out with the Fish the Moment channel, and give it a try if you haven't. I know a lot of you guys out there are probably saying, God dang it, I wish that he wouldn't have, gave away this secret. It's not really secret, it's just a bait category. Like anything else, it's situational. There's times that these things are gonna work, there's times that they're not. But man, this is my favorite time of year to fish them. When that water is between 60 and 70 degrees, clear water, I've got one of these things tied on, and it's the bite on it is so incredible, because they'll either come up and they'll just suck it in, or they'll come out and they'll just like flush the water underneath it. So it's I can't wait to get out there and fish them, because it's one of my favorite ways to catch them. So anyway, guys, starting to rain now. I'm gonna get down there to Grand Lake and try to get some stuff figured out. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna start raining pretty hard here in a second. So we'll be back later on with another one. See you guys.